Please welcome to the stage the following speakers, as they share insights on the integration of ESG values in modern HR leadership.
Hello everyone, it's truly an honor to be here with you, and I would like to thank Moldova AmCham team for their invitation. It's a privilege to be sharing this space with the passionate, forward-thinking, passionate, with shaping future of leadership. Today, we try to explore what is the ESG and why we are speaking about much more than before ESG, and what is the role of ESG in HR departments. I think HR leader is not the constituents of the company and workforce. You are also architecture of the culture to be need to align with sustainability and business strategy. Before to ask my first questions to Selda, I just want to highlight one report which published by the World Economic Forum annually every year. You can see on the screen environmental related issue we will affect our life in short and long-term period. Because of that, we are talking about much more than before sustainability. And I would like to ask my first questions to Selda. Why are stakeholders, company stakeholders, caring about sustainability from the risk perspective, Selda? Could you answer these questions for us?
Thank you, Neriman, for setting the stage. And first of all, we are very happy to be here with you. Let me start with the business world and sustainability. I think businesses realize that they play a critical role in tackling the issue of climate crisis. Why is that so? Because the business world has the dual identity. What does that mean? It means basically, on one hand, the businesses are contributing to the climate crisis, but on the other hand, they are impacted by the climate crisis itself, right? So that means that they need a transformation. They need to do business not as usual. They have to change the way they are doing business. Do you remember what happened last year at the Panama Canal? Does anyone remember what happened? Well, actually what happened is, due to the shortage of rainfall and resulting in a decrease in water levels at the canal, 200 ships got stuck there and they were not able to cross the canal for 20 days. That was just an example of how the climate crisis can have an impact on the business world, on the global trade, and disrupt actually the supply chain, and as a result have an impact on the economy. That was one example of it, and it was a serious one. So again, that shows that the business world has to change the way it is conducting its business today. When it comes to the stakeholders, I think it's worth to focus on 5 of them. The first one is the consumer. When we were talking about sustainability like 10 or 20 years ago, it was quite an abstract concept, let's say. But in today's world, having all these extreme weather conditions, events, floods, wildfires all over the world, our own lives got impacted by the climate crisis, right? And as a result of this, the awareness on the consumer level is increasing day by day. And as of this, the consumer believes that the purchasing behavior might have a positive impact on the world itself, and that the consumer has the power to direct the business world, the corporations, the companies, towards more sustainable practices, let's say. And this is reflected in researches as well, especially when it comes to the younger generation. They are more concerned about the issue. For example, a research conducted in Turkey very recently among consumers at the ages between 18 and 30, 46% of these consumers said that they are willing to pay more for a product or service that is sustainable, that is produced in a sustainable way. The second stakeholder definitely are our employees, right? In the past, employees, they were preferring to work for companies that were financially strong or were market leaders, right? But in today's world, that's not only the one criteria that employees are looking for. What employees are looking for is they wish to work for companies that have a purpose, actually, purposeful companies that are contributing to the society that they are operating in, and companies that are trying to lower their pressure on the environment. And then we have to talk about the society. The society, whether they are consumers or not, they are expecting from companies to be responsible, to act in a responsible way. Because the humanity actually depends on these actions of these companies, let's say. When we come to the fourth stakeholder, it's the regulators. In today's world, again, countries and governments, they are becoming a part of global initiatives like the Paris Agreement, for example. What does that mean? It means that governments, they have certain commitments on global level. And in order to meet these actually these commitments, they need to have more structured and more robust systems in place that results in an increase of regulations for the business world. In the last decade, for example, the number of regulations related to ESG increased by 155%. And this trend will continue definitely. When we come to the fifth, actually, stakeholder, it's the investors. When we were talking about investors and sustainability, we were talking about actually one name, which was Larry Fink. Do you know who Larry Fink is? Larry Fink is the CEO of the world's largest asset management company, actually, called BlackRock, right? And he was sending every year letters to the CEOs of companies that BlackRock was investing in. And he was calling the CEOs of those companies to align their business strategies to global sustainability goals, actually. But in today's world, it's not only Larry Fink. It's in general all the investors, because they are recognizing that sustainability is closely linked to long-term value creation. And companies that actually prioritize ESG tend to be better positioned in managing risks, complying with regulation, and adapt to market changes in a very better way. And as a result, sustainable practices are seen as a sign of good management and long-term profitability. Meanwhile, there is another trend, which is the growing trend of impact investment and ESG-focused funds. These funds grew by 55% in 2021 and reached over $500 billion, not million, $1 billion. And according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, it is expected that these funds reach $33.9 trillion by 2026, which is an increase of almost 85%.
Selda, well, you have summarized for us what's the expectation from the stakeholders in terms of sustainability. Actually, in 1970, one of the important economists highlight that this stating that the company sole responsibility is to generate the profits. Today, business world, we can say that it evolved into shareholder capitalism to stakeholder capitalism. And our essential stakeholder is our people, I think, because HR department is critical, plays the critical role, not only addressing the needs of our employees, but also in bringing our company's values and strategic goals and sustainability visions to life, I think. And my second question to you, what kind of impact do you think the ESG has on the human resources process, especially when you consider the topics that shape the employee's perspective on the company?
Well, I think, first of all, HR plays a critical role when it comes to ESG. And I think there are three main topics that the HR professionals should be focusing on. The first one is about diversity, inclusion, and equality. The second one is about green skills. And the third one is about employee engagement. When we dive into the details of these three topics, when we start with diversity, inclusion, and equality, I would like to share some report outcomes from the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report that is published on annual basis. Actually, the report has 4 dimensions: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. And according to the latest report, the gap is narrowing between men and women, and it is at the level of almost 69%. However, the progress is slowing down, and if we don't have any bold push in there, it will take over 130 years to close the gap between women and men. I have taken a look at how Moldova is performing in that index. Actually, you made a good progress in recent years, and Moldova ranks 28 among 156 countries. When it comes to the economic participation and opportunity, again, Moldova tops the list with 86.3%. On the other hand, when it comes to pay gap, between men and women, it is around 14%. And here I'm proud to say that Anadolu Efes has equal pay for equal work policy in place, which means that we do not have any pay gap between women and men within our organization. Moving to the second area, focus area, which is green skills. As HR professionals, I believe you are responsible for building the workforce of the future, right? And one that is not only skilled, but also prepared to address sustainability challenges of the future. And as countries and companies actually work towards net zero, there is a need for green skilled employees, green collar employees, right? And this is not industry specific. Every industry needs these green collared employees, from healthcare to FMCG, from IT to logistic. Every industry will be in need of green skilled employees. The demand is increasing. However, unfortunately, the supply of green-collared employees is not at the same level, and the main challenge is to close the gap for HR professionals, let's say. There is a report from LinkedIn which suggests while there has been a 9% increase in green talent globally in the past 5 years, it's still not enough to meet the rapidly increasing demand. And again, here, your main responsibility is to close that gap. When it comes to the third pillar, we wish to show you a short video from Anadolu Efes and show you how our employees see sustainability from their point of view. If we could play the video, that would be great.
Eşitlik, kapsayıcılık demek. Herkes için adil bir gelecek hedefiyle çalışan Anadolu Efes'in bir parçası olmaktan dolayı çok mutlu ve gururluyum.
Topluma yatırımı geleceğe yatırım olarak gören bir organizasyonda olmak ve aynı heyecanı birlikte paylaşabilmek demek.
Benim için sıfır demek, yani sıfır emisyon, enerji tasarrufu ve düşük karbon ayak izi demek.
Sürdürülebilir tarım demek, biyoçeşitlilik demek, topluma ve çevreye her daim artı değer katmak demek.
Sürdürülebilirlik kavramının içini doldurabilmek, aksiyon alabilmek ve iş yapışının merkezine sürdürülebilirliği koymak demek.
Geleceğe umutla bakmak, topluma ve doğaya kayıtsız kalmamak demek.
Well, this is the point of view of our employees. But let me share a research from Great Place to Work that highlights the powerful connection between ESG initiatives and employee engagement. Employees who believe their employer makes a positive social impact are 11 times more likely to commit to staying with their organization long term and 14 times more likely to look forward to come to work each and every day. And I think these findings underline the importance of embedding ESG into the corporate culture, not only just as a sustainability strategy, but also to inspire loyalty, enthusiasm, and purpose among the teams that we are working with.
Thank you, Selda. It was the good opportunities to see how ESG shapes HR and influence employee perception. And my last questions to you, how can we engage our employees more effectively in companies with the sustainability initiatives? What can be the role of human resources in this area? Could you summarize for us?
Sure. I think, again, I would like to talk about four topics. The first one is about education, reskilling and upskilling our employees. We talked about green skills. In order to do so, we need to have structured educational programs in place. And I think HR teams are playing a great role in that. For example, at Anadolu Efes, we have a Sustainability Academy. That is designed to provide educational training related to sustainability for each and every department, to provide them to improve their skills and knowledge about sustainability, but also inspire them with best demonstrated practices for them to look in their own area of responsibility, for them to do the way of business they are doing each and every day. How can I do my job in a different way for a better future? That's the thing, actually. Another thing is to embed ESG trainings into onboarding programs, actually, which we also do. This is very important to show actually newcomers that sustainability is one focus area and one strategic area for the company. The second area, the second topic that I would like to talk about is about creating actually role models, right? And in order to create role models, I believe that reward and recognition systems are very important. In regular terms, companies reward actually employees who contribute to the financial results or to efficiency in general. But if you have a separate rewarding system that is dedicated to ESG, actually, you are able to create these role models and show again that this is a strategic priority for your company. And leading by example, that means that sustainability has to be on the top of the agenda of the leadership team. How can we achieve that? We achieve that through setting KPIs for the leadership that are related to ESG and in sustainability in general. And the fourth area is about measuring and actually communicating the performance of sustainability for companies, which we basically do through either sustainability reporting, integrated reporting, or actually integrated annual reporting, which I believe is very important in that sense.
I just want to say, can you move the next slide? We couldn't move it. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually I was done with that.
Please share the last one.
Huh?
Last one.
And the last one actually was about sharing the performance of the companies, which we do through reporting. It is very important that you continuously communicate about sustainability, keep it on the agenda of the leadership team, which you can do through structured, actually, sustainability governance. And also, I think it is important that the board is following up the sustainability performance of the teams in general.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Selda. Actually, we try to explore why we are talking about sustainability and what is the impact in EHR department sustainability. Today, sustainability is a vital role in today's business world to create more resilient company and organization that drive both performance and purpose together. And I think we can lead the way in redefining leadership for a sustainable and more inclusive tomorrow. Thank you for listening to us today.